Okay. Well, thank you for coming, everybody, and welcome. Today we're going to show you some pictures before and after. So, this is a picture that I put on Facebook, and some people took some pretty good guesses. Some people thought it was Lorraine Metcalf's house. Anybody that just came in, I want to take a shot at it before we move on to show you where it is today? Or what's there today, I should say. Anyone last minute guesses? No? Okay, here we go.
Wow. Oh.
Imagine that. It was on the corner of Depot Street.
J.J. Newberry's.
J.J. Newberry's, that's right. Speaking of J.J. Newberry's, I remember when it looked like that.
Right. Had what, 2 or 3 floors at the time?
Yeah, 2 floors, right. And then, yep. And those railings and everything,
Right.
the exact same railings that are there today. Imagine that. Yep. So there we go. Then who was the manager?
Charlie DeWitt.
Chuck DeWitt. That's right. Yeah. Now that house, you can see that house. The arrow's pointing to that house.
Right.
The guy's name was Daniel C. Cotton, and he had a block down on Depot Street, a business down there. Yeah. So that's his house.
What year is that, Joe?
Well, I can tell you this is between 1900 and 1907. 1900 is when the tracks were put down for the streetcars. And 1907, because the Hotel Windsor is still up, they tore that down in 1907 to build the Felix Cataldo block.
Right.
And today it looks like that. I took this on a day that there were no pigeons up on the roof. So it was always up there.
No, when I went into service in '68,
Yeah,
Main Street was 2 ways, and when I came home, it was only 1 way.
one way. Now it's back to 2-way again. Yeah. So here's a
Being
picture.
on Main Street at the time, you couldn't get on the 140 on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, yeah. Phew. Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, here's a picture that it's around 1927. And the reason I know that, you can see the Morse Opera House in the back with the clock tower. That burned down in February 1928. And then the house right in the middle, they tore that down to build the W.T. Grant store, which is in the middle of the Depot Plaza. And then today, looks like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. That picture, that dates back to about 1959 or so. You can always tell by the cars. And not too much has changed since. Kind of the same. I mean, a little upgrade on the front and everything. Okay, who remembers this garage? No,
Is that where Charlie Gear was?
no. This was on East Street.
East.
This was on East Street. A guy named George Cody ran this garage. It was a Cody garage. And then today, it's this. Oh, and that's when they had a big fire in '38. And that's when they were rebuilding it. When you get on East Street, you just start to turn right. There's a building right there. Is it electric company or something?
Right.
Yeah, that's that building. Huh. Oh, well. Okay. That building right there is called the Exchange Building. Remember Martin's department store? Well, that was, oh, wait a minute. Hey, Ray, you're just in time. That's the Cody garage on East Street. And then they were rebuilding it. But I don't have the after picture, though.
The view from my front porch.
Oh, geez. Yeah. So anyway, that was the Exchange Building, and Martin had a department store. Now, was Martin his first name or last name? No. His first name was Martin. His last name was Levine. Martin Levine.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Is that right at the railroad bridge?
Exactly, yep.
Joe, why did you go to an exchange?
It was always called the Exchange Building for some reason. Yeah. And then they tore it down in 1962 because you can see in the middle of the plaza, W.T. Grant had vacated that store, and Chuck DeWitt was going to expand Newberry's into the W.T. Grant store, but he needed extra parking. So he says, you know something, I'm going to tear down the Exchange Building. It was built in the 1860s. And the Sentinel Building down on Depot Street where the trading post used to be.
Right.
And then they made all that parking. And then today, it's that.
Right.
Hey, Joe.
Yes?
You can't really see it from this picture, but you look at the first picture again, you'll notice that that bridge is completely flat.
Oh, yeah,
It's transition to Main Street.
that's right.
And today, it actually goes up and over an incline. They raised that bridge
Yep,
to accommodate for taller trains.
that's true. You're right, because I've seen some pictures of, well, actually, if you can see when you're looking at the wall underneath, you can actually see where it was. And as a kid, I used to sit on that little step there, and I used to watch the trains. So I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's right.
No, it shows Stop and Shop down there. Did
Yes.
Stop and Shop move to that building
Stop and Shop, believe it or not,
back in 59 or 60, something like that?
Stop and Shop started there in 1938.
Right.
Actually, even earlier than that, around in the mid-30s. But it was called the Economy Grocery Store. Economy Grocery Store.
Okay.
In 1938, that franchise changed to become Stop and Shop.
Right.
And it was there until 1963
Okay.
when it became farmland.
Right.
And then in later years, it became Town Paint.
Right. Right.
And after that,
Yeah, we had a real estate company in there too. years
oh,
later.
yes, that's right. That's right, yeah. And then today it's that, okay. Who remembers Connie's Drugstore?
Right.
Mike Connie,
That was right on the corner by Valley's Jeweler up there.
exactly, yep.
Was that Helen Carberry? She was a teacher in the school system.
Oh.
Back then, because I had her in class.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Mike Connie bought his business from the guy he worked for. His name was Albert Mason.
Okay.
Albert Mason bought it from a guy named Wilkes. So you can see I see a lot of that where an employee buys the business when the guy retires. But Mike Connie bought it 1941 or so, and that's when they were putting the new sign up. In fact, you can see Mike Connie just looking back at the camera, at the hat on.
Okay.
And in 1950, that's when he changed it to Connie's Drugstore.
Right.
So, and of course, we know that's what it looked like today.
Right. Of course, on Main Street back then, did they have 3 different drugstores right
Oh.
on Main Street itself?
Puritan Drugs,
Rizzoli's?
Rizzoli's, and Connie's.
Puritan or Dana's.
And Dana, yeah, we talked about that. Dana was before Puritan Drugs. And in between was Bob Howe. Yep. Now, this building was torn down in 1913. We call this the Chilson Block because James Chilson came to town and built that building. In 1913 or 1912, he decided he was going to redo the building a little bit. He was going to put another floor on. He was going to actually put stucco on it, same as the Masonic Temple had. And then he just about was getting ready to do it. And he said, you know something, the heck, well, let's just tear the thing down, put a nice big new brick building there. So this is the brick building that he put.
Now,
Right across the street, oh, go ahead.
Now, right in that immediate area, wasn't there a fire in one of the buildings in that immediate area?
Well, the Dana block, because the top floor burnt out. Well, actually, we're going to see a picture of that in a minute. Yeah. But this is right across the street from today's post office. They actually put the post office in there. They built that building specifically for the post office, which is there. And then in later years, Davis Davis Department Store went in there. And then one store that we all remember is Thunderbird Cleaners.
Right.
Who was the manager of that?
Charlie Hooper.
Charlie Hooper. Trivia question. E&W Laundry. What's the E&W stand for? Erlander and Woodworth. Charles Erlander and I forgot Mr. Woodworth's name, but anyway. Erlander and Woodworth. And today it's 2/3 of the building's gone. That, believe it or not, is the original construction. You walk down that alley, you can see they bricked in all the doors and everything. I remember walking down there one time when it was Thunderbird Cleaners, and then Charlie Hooper was in there, and I was watching him doing the press and everything. So, yeah. Okay, the Fish Shoe Store. I think we probably can figure out where that is. The Metcalf Block. And today, that's what that is. Now this one, haha, Ethan Allen Moore. There was a guy in there before him, his name was Smith W. Thayer. Smith W. Thayer.
Right.
And he sold it to Ethan Allen Moore. Ethan Allen Moore sold it to a guy named Robert Doherty. So here's what, and then there's Mr. Doherty when he took it over. But in 1924, They're going to tear that block down and build that. We call that the flax block. That's where, you know, that right on the bridge. And that's where that building was, right in there. Ah, Joe's Diner. Also known as Main Street Diner, also known as B&B. What does B&B stand for?
No idea.
Buzzer and Bozo. Buzzer and Bozo. Buzzer Mason. Who remembers Buzzer Mason? Who remembers Buzzer Mason? Carlton. Yep, Carlton Mason. Yep. He worked on a Sherman Chevrolet, had the cowboy hat. Oh
The
yeah.
other guy that owned that before that was Charlie Lawrence.
Charlie Lawrence. He's the one.
My mother's uncle.
That's right. Charlie Lawrence. Oh, the first lunch cart was put there in 1898 by a guy named Fairfield, and he sold it to Charlie Lawrence in around 1903, 1904. And then Charlie in 1908 or 9 put a new lunch cart in. And then in 1926, he put that one in. The Worcester Lunch Car Company made that car. And they still got one up in a Boulevard Diner up in Worcester. And we've been there. You swear you walked into the Main Street Diner. It's beautiful.
But the one where they had the hood above the grill. So
Oh, yeah.
Throw the money up there.
You got it. Yep. Yeah, well, that's when Joe Lazzarini owned it. So there's that. And then things have been added on over the years. And then this is when Buzzer and Bozo is Bozo Fleming is his last name. And that's when and by the way, when Charlie Lawrence owned it, it was called the Franklin Diner. And when Buzzer and Bozo bought it, it came to B&B, they had repainted it, and that's what it looked like then. And then, in later years, Joe added on to the front of it and the back of it. The front of it had the little pool, the pinball machine there, and this little booth in the corner. And then in the back was a little kitchen. And they also dug out the cellar. I know Al Dinello was telling me he spent one summer digging out that cellar and bringing up buckets of dirt out and everything. Oh, yeah.
Was Stewart's Press still there then?
Oh, yeah. You'll see that. You're getting ahead of me there. That's okay. And then Victor Bazzini had the diner taken out and put that in. So, yeah. Ah, the Crescent House. Now, Crescent might give you a clue as to where that might have been. Corner of Crescent Street. Yep. And today it's that.
That's the telephone, yeah.
That's right. Back in 1961 is when in the late 50s they built that. In 61 is when dial service came to Franklin. And remember, you pick up the phone, number please, and whatever. Yeah, party lines, yeah. No, that wasn't even a party line. Before we had dial service, you picked up the phone, the operator would come on and say, number please, and you give her the number. In 61, that's when they went to dial service. Yep.
That's when there was at least 100 people in town.
Yeah, right, yeah. Now that is the first Dean Hall. And that was built exactly where today's Dean Hall is. But that was built in 1868. It burnt down in 1872, 4 years later. Yeah. Then they built that. And you probably say, wait a minute, that's Dean Hall? Look at that tower. Beautiful tower.
Right.
And the two little things on the side. But 1938, the hurricane blew the tower over and they never replaced it. That's why it looks like that today. They just never replaced it. Yeah.
Joe, in one of your previous presentations, did you show us men working on the tower?
Oh, yeah.
And they had no scaffolding?
No, are they just walking around up there? Oh, my God, yeah. I guess claustrophobic just watching it.
What were they doing, putting back the bell on the top?
Well, what they were doing, way up on the top is a big cross. The thing weighed about 1,200 pounds. I'm not sure if it was made out of wood or steel, whatever. But what happened was, they were afraid, this is 1 month before the 38 hurricane in August. They were afraid that cross was going to fall in. So they said, well, let's get up there and take it down. So they actually put up some kind of not scaffolding, but boards up there. And then they got this big piece of wood sticking up and the hoist, and they hoisted that cross down. 1 month later, boom, the tower came over. But yeah, Chilson was there taking movies of it. It was like, wow. And he zoomed right in. So you can just, I get nervous
I
just
remember
thinking.
thinking that was before OSHA.
Oh yeah, well, oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's just a typical downtown Franklin. And that's what it looks like today. Who knows where that is?
Well, that was what, North Main Street?
Well, if you look, there's a clue in the background, you can see the Dean Hall Tower.
Right.
So this is the corner of Dean Avenue. That's Dean Avenue right there. That's where today's post office is.
Okay.
That house was owned by a guy named Charles Mackenzie. Now, at the time that that house was built, Dean Avenue did not extend from Ray Street to Main Street. Dean Avenue only went from Hillside Road to Ray Street and it stopped. It was all open land in there. And so that house was there.
Was that a single family house?
I think it was, yeah, because Harry Haywood bought it in 1903. Harry Haywood was, in fact, Harry Haywood bought the Mackenzie Mill, which is today's mill store. Harry Haywood bought that house from Charles Mackenzie, his widow actually, because Charles Mackenzie died around the time that Harry Haywood bought the mill. And then today is the post office. Now, here's a nice church, beautiful picture too.
Yeah.
That is the church. That is the church that was next to the first church that was next. No, the second church that was next to Dean Hall. See that big factory right there?
Yeah.
That's where today's Gidley Funeral Home is. So that's School Street, right on the between those two buildings. That was the church. That church burnt down in 1886, and it was replaced with that one. Now that's the one we remember. A lot of us remember. And then in 1967, the congregation they couldn't afford the church anymore. It was falling into disrepair. So they sold it to Dean, they tore it down, and they built the library. Now, the first church that was there was right here. That was the first Universalist church. And when they built the second one, as soon as it was done, they said to the Baptists, you want this old church? You can have it. Just one thing, you got to move it away. They moved it down School Street, and it became the Baptist church, right across the street from the Ray School.
Right.
So think of this. In 1873, they moved that church down that hill. 1873. The only thing, they didn't have to worry about telephone wires, though, so they didn't have to worry about the steeple. So
Still think about
just, yeah.
today, you'd have hydraulic jacks and everything.
I know it. What did they do? I mean, wow.
Did they pull it down the street by horses?
I would hope by oxen, probably, yeah. That's something.
What else would they
Yeah,
have?
and they did it within a week.
Really?
Yeah, in May, yeah. Okay, here's that building I was telling you about. This was the building that was where Dana Drugs was. And they moved the building back, turned it 45 degrees. Now here is, Chilson went up on top of the fire station and he took movies, color movies too, beautiful. And as he was panning, he caught this. Now you can see the Dana block in the back, and you can see this building at a 45-degree angle. That was that building. And on that far corner, they chopped off a portion of that building at a 45-degree angle so that it's parallel with the back of the building. And then later years, they tore that thing down. And then this shows the Felix Cataldo block, and that was built in 1907. So, yeah. And then today, now here's where that fire happened.
Right.
You can see the upper floor burnt, yeah. And it was Puritan Drugs at the time. And today it's Teddy Gallagher's. This is what sometimes people ask me, when did you get involved with history? When I saw the picture of this, and I was a kid, it was around 1963, the Woonsocket Call had pictures of old Franklin, and I remember this picture. I'm thinking, wow, that's what Franklin looked like. And I think that's what kind of whet my appetite for learning about history of Franklin. And we can date this picture to before 1907, because there's that Hotel Windsor, and the street cars are there. So it's definitely no later than 1907.
Were the streetcars electric or?
Yeah, you can see the wires, they're wires. The power plant was down in Unionville. Yeah. And then today, that's the same view. And then that's that Hotel Windsor I was telling you about. This is when they were tearing this block down to build the Felix Cataldo block. Now, that block was originally built by the Ray family, 1907. And then in 1922, it was bought by a guy named Jacob Gebb. He owned it for about a year or two. And then he sold it to Felix J. Cataldo, and that's when he named it the Felix J. Cataldo block. The Ray block. How many of us went up and down that elevator? But anyway, that was built in 1873, and the Ray family built that because they were going to bring a bank to Franklin from Blackstone. There was a Worcester branch of a bank, and it became the Franklin National Bank in that building. And then, that's what it is today, Dean Bank. Now, Dean Cooperative Bank actually started in that building. And then they moved over to across the street where on the corner of Emmett Street. And then they moved back here. But at the same time, this building had the clock. And then when they demolished the building, Bob Valley got the clock. And then they moved over to, the bank moved over there. Then Bob Valley took over that building. And when it came back here, he brought the clock back with him. So that was a little interesting twist there.
Now, the Elks used to be on the 3rd floor.
That's right. Until 1970, when they said, guys, you got to move, sorry. So they moved across the street to above Thunderbird Cleaners until their Pond Street place is ready. You're right, yeah.
Well, on the second floor, didn't they have like a dance hall up there?
I think it was the Palm Dance Studio, I think is what it was called, I think, yeah.
Part of the Knights of Columbus or something like that?
Yeah, well, the Knights of Columbus actually did meet in here too,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you happen to know if Franklin National ever issued their own money? 'Cause
I'm
most
not
national
sure.
banks in that time, like I actually know a woman who recently, she still had some rent from National Bank,
Oh,
$10
Really?
bills.
oh, really?
The-
I
the-
don't-
the national
That'd be
banks
counterfeit,
were
wouldn't it?
allowed- The national banks were allowed to
Really?
issue their own money,
No
and then
fooling.
later on they had to stop that because
Wow.
one would be worth a lot of money, one would be worth nothing.
That's something right there.
Most horrible from Franklin.
Wow. And by the way, the Franklin National Bank in 1936 or so became Norfolk County Trust Company. And they, in fact, if you look at real carefully at the clock, it says Norfolk County Trust Company. Then in the 50s, they built their building over there on corner of Emmett Street. And then, so, yeah.
But back in America, it's not.
Well, now it's called physical or something, yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't
And
Mass
it was,
Electric there at one time?
the what?
Wasn't Mass Electric in there?
Oh, yeah, Mass Electric was in there, yep. But yeah, the bank, it was Bay Bank, Bank of America, all kinds of banks. And then Dean Bank. Oh, and then, okay, there's that church again, there's that mill. And I've already given away the answer, what was there? The Ginley Funeral Home. Yeah. That house was actually built around 1892 by Aaron Hartwell Morse. And in 1895 he died, and his widow lived there for a little while longer. So, yeah.
Joe, when was that Ginley building built?
1892 or so. Because in 1889 is when that straw factory burnt down.
1892.
Yeah, around 1892, yeah. And your typical streetcars looking down Main Street. That's what it looks like today.
So when did, who was it? Ben Franklin that started the library? When was that, when he came to town? It's not the first
Believe it or not, Benjamin Franklin never even came to Franklin.
Oh, he never did.
Yeah, they just decided to name it after him.
Oh, okay.
After it was going to be Exeter, and they said somebody changed their mind,
Somebody
said,
bring the books or something to start the library?
well, they were building the new Congregational Church, and they said, we'd like to get a bell for that church. Hey, let's hit Ben up for some money. So they wrote to him in England. He says, well, I don't know, a bell? No. I think books would be a better idea. Sense is preferable to sound. And the rest is history. One of those houses should look familiar. Actually, they both should, except that they were identical. Who knows where they are?
It was Pierce House.
That's right. And by the way, I was corrected. It's not Pierce, it's Peirce, because it's P-E-I-R-E, not P-I-E. I said, wow. So it's Peirce, Arthur W. Peirce. But anyway, The house on the right was the Peirce house, and the one on the left is, well, they're both the Ray brothers. Two of the three Ray brothers. Joseph Gordon Ray owned that one, and James Ray owned this one. Francis, I don't know where he lived. And today, that's the administration building. Oh, and then, okay, this is what the Peirce house looked after they redid it over. Arthur Peirce and Lydia Ray Thayer got married, and they went to Europe on honeymoon. And she loved the architecture over there. She goes, let's convert our house over to look like that. So they built a house around the house. The balloon construction. They built all those walls on the outside with about this space in between. And of course, that kind of construction led to its demise when it burned down. Whoosh, flames went right, shot up through the walls. Yep. And then that's what's there today. Here's another story of a house that lasted for about 10 years, maybe not even 10 years. Harry Haywood built a house. First, Harry Haywood was living on that, where the post office is. He was living in that house, and he was single at the time. He was actually living at the Crescent House until he got married. So he bought that house, but he also built this house. And this is right across the street from the town common. Beautiful house, right? Well, around 1919 or so, Mrs. Haywood said, you know, I'm tired of this house. Let's build a new one. So they built what's today's Haywood Mansion in the back, and they tore this down. Tore this one down. And there it is again. You can see the Federated Church over there. This is a look at that from the rear. They tore it down.
Set up by Ginley's funeral home up in that area.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then today it's Haywood Manor. But that was the Haywood Mansion. I've been in there many times. And it was a one beautiful
And I was
place.
talking about, did it become the Catholic school?
Yeah, that's that became the convent. No, the house. That's the houses. The first house was built where today St. Mary's School is. Yeah, on the corner. Yeah.
And that used to be an orphanage.
Yeah, an orphanage in the 40s, right?
Remember the
And
orphanage?
fifties.
Do you remember the orphanage? Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
and 50s.
that's right.
Where they spoke
Then it took.
Polish. They were from Poland. They didn't speak English, the kids.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Huh?
Joe, that was later a nunnery, right?
Yeah, the convent. When we had the parochial school. In fact, the nuns. When I started taking piano lessons when I was about in the 5th grade, and I didn't have a piano, so the nun said, "Hey, we got a piano in the convent. After school, come over and practice on your piano." I said, "Oh, great!" So every day after school, I'd go over and I'd practice, and the nuns loved it. You know, they'd be walking through and then humming away while I'm playing. And then I had the run of the place. I used to walk around the place and go sit in the library reading their books and things. Wow, the stair in the front hall, and oh yeah, they had a big up on the 3rd floor. They had a big hall. And I could just picture all the nice parties and everything they must have had up there. Yeah. And there's downtown. Now, this is like standing on the town bridge looking down East Central Street. Now, there was only Central Street in Franklin up until 1913. Central Street ran all the way from Rentham to Bellingham. But in 1913, they said, let's divide it at the town bridge. East Central from Rentham to the bridge, West Central from the bridge to Bellingham. Central Street. There's the Morse Opera House on the right. And that building right there in the corner, 2/3 of it is still there. And, well, they had a big fire in February 1928. The Morse Opera House went up in flames. A woman named Louise Costello was on the piano, and it was in the afternoon. There was an afternoon thing where the kids were in there. So Louise Costello started playing lively music, as it was told, and it kept the kids calm and everybody got out. There was one little boy who was in there. His name was Woodrow Woody Abbott. How many remember Woody Abbott? Yeah. So he was in there. But anyway, they burnt down, and the top floor was gone, the clock tower was gone, but the rest of the building on the corner was saved, and it's still there to this day.
So she was playing the piano while the fire was going on?
Well, it started. I mean, they got about, then she got the heck out herself. Then this is the day after, all the aftermath. Oh, man, what a mess. Oh. But believe it or not, literally, that fire happened in February. Within 2 or 3 months, those new buildings were being populated with stores. It's like, oh, they rebuilt it just like that. It's like, wow.
Cottage Street there is on the right.
Exactly, yep.
That's the old road right
No, the room's over here.
there.
Yeah.
That's looking headed towards Rentham.
Yeah, this is looking towards Rentham. Yeah, yeah. Huh. This house was the first home of Aaron Hartwell Morse, and for some reason they named it the Hawthorne. I don't know why, but that stood there. You can see it in the back, and that's the corner of Summer Street.
Okay.
This is called the Morse Garage. They built a garage on their front lawn.
And that's what Morse's Theater was for that too.
Exactly. Yeah, Aaron Hartwell Morse owned, literally, both sides of East Central Street at downtown. He owned where the Morse Opera House was, across the street where Franklin Furniture was. That was his property too. Yeah,
So did
And-
that become a convenience store?
yeah, yeah,
And then behind that is,
yeah. But then in the 50s, Ray Brown took it over and he put that in there. And then that's what's today. Yeah. Ah, Supple's Garage. Leo Supple.
Martin had his wife.
Yeah. Now I can tell you that car coming up the hill is a 1954 Oldsmobile, and I know that because I had a 1954 Oldsmobile. That's a 55 right there.
Well, didn't they have a bus line too, Supple?
Yeah, I guess they did. Yeah,
Right.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Joe Lazzarini.
It was Supple and Vendetti's. They were like competing.
Right. Yeah. That in later years, Joe Lazzarini took over. Supple was long gone. Joe Lazzarini took over the garage down the bottom, and he started his catering business, Mr. Joseph's. I remember going there and visiting him, and boy, he had a really nice setup in there. Yeah.
if you're lucky, you get 10 miles a gallon.
Yeah. Yeah. And today, that's what that is. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But you made 10 cents an hour.
Well, you know, if a guy wanted to ride, they'll give you $1 for gas. Well, 5 gallons. That's great. Okay. Some of you might remember this block. This was taken in 1934, but the buildings they were pretty much there until maybe the 70s or 80s. See that fence over on the side should give you a clue. Oh, the horse drop should really give you a clue. That's where the Rome restaurant is today.
All in Rome?
The Rome, yeah.
The ugly telephone poles.
Yeah. Now, Bullock and Oil took over that building on the far right for a while.
Where was the diner? Brunelli's diner.
See that where it says the pool room? That eventually became, and I'll show you what happened. You can see where it says diner? Okay. Actually, let me show you a better one. Oh, Brunelli's Diner. That started off, that building, that little long building, started off 1893 or 4 as a grocery store. James P. McKinnon owned it. And then eventually they turned it into a bowling alley and pool room. And then in 1932, Francesco Brunelli started buying the property. He turned it into the Clark Square Diner. In 1948, they said, let's turn this Clark Square Diner into a real fancy place. And it became Brunelli's Diner. And then in later years, it became Kami's Restaurant for a while. A guy named Nunzio Bonina bought it. And then and the reason he named it Kami's, his wife's name was Carmela Sosi, and her brother was Gus Sosi. And then the Rome restaurant was built. Yeah. Oh, in '65, Kami's Restaurant became the Rome restaurant, and then they had a fire, and then they replaced it with this. There's the Morse Theater. As I said, the Morses own that land and other properties around. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Is that the one that became the theater?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before that was the Franklin Cinema.
Did you tell us once that there were 3 bowling alleys downtown?
Yeah, there was Central Alleys. That's where Fico's Bolodrome became. Al Fico owned them, and then he moved it down to East Central Street. Yeah, there was a bowling alley under there. Yeah. Anybody remember that?
What are we looking at?
If you were driving down 140, and just before you get to Hunchard's Curve, everybody knows what Hunchard's Curve is. On the left,
Green.
The Payne's Horse Farm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This was taken right after the 38 hurricane came through. You can see all the damage and everything. And that's what it is today, Magnolia Heights.
Right.
That's my car, by the way, my former car.
And there was a racetrack there at one time?
That was down for,
Somewhere in that area, yeah.
that was down where the Star Market is.
Or where's the, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. A guy named Wallace C. Smith owned this garage, and eventually a guy named Leslie Hockey Miller bought it, and then a guy named Jim Malloy bought it.
Okay.
That should give you a clue.
Right.
Chevy dealer.
Malloy's Garage. Yeah,
Owned by Alpine Place.
exactly. Yeah. Now this, speaking of Hockey Miller, down on 140 was this garage called Fitzpatrick's Garage. They had a small fire or something going on there in the pump. And then in later years, it became Miller Motors. That's Hockey Miller. He bought that. And then today, that's what it looks like. And then his brother Ken Miller, up the street, built this. Ken Miller's Truck Sales.
It was up by Hunchard's Corner.
Exactly. The what?
That's where the Hawks from.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. And then today, same building. That's a schoolhouse. That was the second of 3 schoolhouses that were in that location. The first one was a 1-room schoolhouse. This was a 2-room schoolhouse. And the one that replaced it was a 4-room schoolhouse. Anybody remember that one? Four Corners School. That's right. Yeah. There's only 4 classrooms in that building.
That's now where Walgreens is now, right?
Walgreens is there. Yep. Oh, need I say more?
Lola's there.
Lola's Dairy.
Homemade high school.
Yep. I used to hate the sign on the window that said, "Closed for the season. See you in April." That meant winter was here.
That's kind of like the Rosewood over in Bellingham.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that place. Yeah. Labor Day out for they're gone.
Right, right.
And today it's the Big Y. Yeah.
Used to be down where Sherman Chevrolet was.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Franklin Furniture.
Chevrolet dealer started off as a small gas station too, or
Yeah.
did they-
I'm sorry. What was the question?
the Chevy dealer, did they start off as a small repair shop? gas
Oh yeah,
station?
Sherman Chevrolet, and then became Pierce, and then became what was the last one?
Keegan.
Keegan, right? But it started off on Cottage Street, Sherman Chevrolet. Yeah, I think I might be showing that one, but yeah. We remember this block, Franklin Furniture Block, and then today, it's that. 1954, this new concept of a supermarket idea came along, and the Brunelli family, they developed that. This was opening day, I think.
It's in the corner of Lewis Street.
Corner of Lewis Street. Yep, right on the corner, yep. And then that's what's there today.
Well, did they start that one before they had the place uptown?
Well, they used to have,
Brunelli's Market there or whatever?
in fact, they have one on
Market?
Alpine Place. Yeah, they had a small little market right on Alpine Place, yeah. Ah,
It's coming.
no, this woman's name is Helen Shea. Anybody remember?
Principal.
She was a principal, right?
She,
Yeah. And she shoveled that whole driveway up by herself. Stanley Chilson was walking by the house and took movies of her. That's what this is from. And I'll be done. The whole driveway was done. Yep.
We got pictures of my father and I don't know how many guys were working the farm at that time. They shoveled Prospect Street from the corner all the way down to Washington Street. And it wasn't even plowed yet.
You kidding me?
That was 7/10 of a mile they shoveled.
They shoveled it?
They had a 38 Chevy, I think, behind them.
Wow.
I can't imagine how long that must have took. Huh?
And today, that's Helen Shea's house on Dean Avenue. Yeah. Ah, talk about buildings that get burnt down. We refer to this as the Masonic Temple, but it actually started off as the YMCA. In fact, I'll be doing a whole talk on the YMCA at the museum next month.
there too.
There was a little bowling, two alleys down the floor, yeah. Yeah. They'll be doing a whole talk on the YMCA November at the museum. They're gonna keep it open on a Saturday just for me, imagine that.
You paid for it, Joe.
Well, not with money though. And today it's gone. Yeah,
It's all parking lot now, the post office took over, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
For years.
Yeah, I know
Years
it.
ago.
Yeah. Here's Dean Avenue. In fact, see that tree across the street? I lived across the street, and as a 5-year-old kid, this is 1954, as a 5-year-old kid, I remember looking out the window and seeing that tree across the road. You can see the country kitchen, Sonny Remillard owned that. Yes,
I have a question about jobs in Franklin.
yeah,
In the 1900s, the people coming to Franklin, that was because they were looking for work with the mills.
oh, there was plenty of mills, yeah. Yeah.
That was predominantly the jobs, right?
Really, yeah. I mean, there were plenty of mills to choose from, especially down in where Nathan's Crossing is, Union Street. You had Haywood Mill, you had, and then even, you had American Felt, all kinds of mills, yeah.
There were, at the time, there were postcards that were made up of the mills.
Yeah, yeah,
And the point was to entice people to come to move to Franklin because
Mhm.
the postcards showed that there were good jobs to be
sure.
That's what I heard, because when we had coffee at Honeydew, all the guys talking over the year,
Yeah,
they mentioned their families would come into Franklin
Yeah.
for work.
Yeah.
Mother, father, not really speaking English well, et cetera.
That's
et
right.
cetera.
well,
And then they developed a family here. And the rail cars was funny because cars, you can see a lot of dealerships later on in the 40s and 50s.
mhm,
They didn't have cars.
that's right,
When
yeah.
these families moved in.
Yeah.
They walked to work.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you have so many family members here? You know, and I joked to them about their names and stuff, because I'm Irish Catholic, they were mostly Italian.
Yeah,
And they said, oh, we didn't have cars, we didn't drive to Boston, we just stayed in Franklin, so we married people across our street.
yeah. Well, my family's a good case in point.
Yeah.
My grandparents, they lived close to each other, they got married. My great-grandfather was in Cumberland, Rhode Island, I think, when he first came here. He used to come to Franklin, he was a stonemason, and Union Street Cemetery, that wall, he helped to build that. He actually built the foundation for the Civil War monument on the Common, so he found work in Franklin. So yeah, you're right.
It's an interesting transition.
Yeah.
When you did the talk on the restaurants,
Yep.
you did a thing on restaurants in Franklin,
Hmm.
and he kept mentioning that, like that diner they showed, they were open 24 hours. And I
Yeah.
said, why would they open 24 hours? They
Sure.
said because of the mills.
That's
they were
right.
running 3 shifts.
Yeah.
So people would get out and stop for breakfast, and then
That's
people would
right.
stop for lunch.
Yeah.
So the diners were running 24 hours also because of the mills.
Yeah. Joe Lazzarini once.
Question.
Yep.
The first high school in Franklin, was that Davis there?
The first high school?
Yes.
No, believe it or not, it was across the street from the Ray School on School Street. It was called the Thayer School. It was an elementary school. But before it was the Thayer School, it was called the School Street School. It was built around the 1860s. And then in 1893, they built the next high school
Yes.
on the triangle where Emmett Street and West Central Street is. Today there's that Horace Mann Plaza or whatever it is. That's where that high school was. Oh, it actually became the Horace Mann Elementary School. But that's where the second high school was. Then the Davis Thayer took over in 1924 until 1961 when my high school down on Oak Street took over. Then 1971, the Fieldhouse High School was built, and now we've got the newest one. So there's all kinds of high schools.
It's amazing Davis there, because the guys I used to have coffee with were talking about that's the school they went to.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. From 1924 to 1961, yeah.
Yeah, and amazing, I coached at that little gymnasium when I basketball.
Yep.
And that was a very small.
I know, I remember being in there, yeah.
It was really funny.
Yep. Uh-oh, what do we got here? Okay.
Davis there, wasn't that the school there where the kids go up on the roof there and watch the Dean girls
Eh,
Sunday?
probably, probably. I didn't know that, but now I do. That's good to know. Huh. And then today there's those buildings. This is back, a guy named D'Addario had a plumbing business in there,
Right,
and then he sold his business to a guy named Peter Pilastri.
right, I remember Pete.
You remember? Yep. And then I
Mike
understand.
Plummer was one of the three, Johnny Palermo, that worked for Pete Pilastri back then,
Oh wow.
right, before he went into business for himself.
And I'm pretty sure that Pippinell started in there too. I think, right?
Exactly.
Ron Bashanio started, and now it is what it is.
Isn't that where the vet store was and all that stuff in that immediate area?
Probably. Now, yeah. Yep. Okay, here's a picture, and not much has changed from looking at this versus that, Dean Avenue, looking towards town. The houses pretty much look the same. Yeah.
Have any pictures of Saul's?
Oh yeah.
The,
Yeah.
that's
I think we'll see one. Yeah. That's going to be a tough one. That's Stanley Chilson's house on Dean Avenue. Yeah. I've been in that house about a year or so ago. I visited the woman, Janet Swa lives there. She had some pictures that she wanted to show me, so I went in. Wow, I've been in Stanley Chilson's house. Whoa, it's unbelievable. He's my hero.
Joe, those days all town water?
Oh, I would assume so. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Isn't that where Margaret Ranieri was living or somewhere in that immediate area too? That was just went down from the post office.
Oh, well, that was Dr. Green's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, close to town. Yeah. Now that building might not look familiar. You might remember it in a different way. You probably remember it when it was that. But it's the same building. You can kind of see the roof line, but they put on the facade. But Horace Mazzone had a little tailor shop there. Right on the bridge. Right on the bridge, huh? The what?
Soxy had a furniture store.
That's coming. That's coming. Stay tuned. Yep. On the other side of the bridge. Soxy's business. He was where the Rome restaurant is today. He was in that building. Yeah. The First National Foods. First National used to be over on Main Street. Remember we talked about the W.T. Grant store? Well, when that block was built, you had W.T. Grant. There was a middle building. W.T. Grant was here, and First National was here. But in '46, that block had a very bad fire. And at that point, Martin's department store, which was in where Newberry's is today, or was there, moved over to where we saw them. They fixed the building up, but then First National said, you know something, our lease ran out, let's build our own building over there on West Central Street, next to Lorraine Metcalf's house. That's where the black box is today. And then W.T. Grant said, we'll move into where First National used to be. If you look real carefully, I was going to say, I think he's in there. Let's see. No, he was. I must have cut him out.
Joe, is that Herb Stewart in front?
No, but he is in that parade. There's Mutt Malloy over there. So anyway, yep. Then it became Factory Building Outlet. Steve Crowley had his place in that block.
Steve.
Yeah. And today it's the Black Box.
So the black box was originally the First National store?
Yeah. Yeah. This was put up in the 50s, I think it was. Let's see what time it is. Okay. Yeah, this was put up in the 50s. I remember buying a bicycle in that place. Oh, my mother bought it for me, I should say.
You could buy everything in West.
Oh, I know it. Well, it's like Benny's in North Attleboro. No. Yeah. And then today it's, well, at the time I took the picture, it was the macaroni place. Now it's still vacant now, but. Here we go. Roll over. No. Yep. Oh, yeah. This is right after it was, this is 1940. It was built in 35, but this is 1940. That's the original bathhouse.
I took pool lessons there, swimming.
Didn't we all?
Lorraine Metcalf.
And we lived till tell about it. Without going deaf. Roll over. Huh? Oh,
The Crowley,
more like Coca-Cola.
Crowley kids used to be swimming instructors there too.
Oh, really?
And Henry Bean's wife.
Oh, Alice? Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh, no, his wife. Oh, Mary Bean. That was his sister. Yeah.
Was there, I wasn't here, was there something polluting?
Was it what?
Why did you call it all those names? Was there something polluting the water in the pool?
A little bit of everything.
I think it was mainly
Yeah.
spring fed too, right?
Joe,
Yeah, it was, well, it was a river, a stream went through it. There was a pond in the back, it was called Ford's Pond,
Oh, okay.
and they dammed it off,
Right.
and that's how they created the pool, yeah. And that's what it looks like today.
Factories around probably putting out
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some you might remember this. This was down on 140 near Raymond Street, and eventually that became like an antique store. Right where Beaver Street, Raymond Street, and West Central. Yeah, exactly. But back in the 30s, it was a little gas station. And today, it's empty. Nothing. Oh, that looks familiar. They took away part of the tower. That's down on Unionville, down on West Central Street. I think it's is it a distillery now or something?
It's a restaurant, Glen Farmer, but they distill out.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. Back in 1937, there was this big tree down there in Unionville, huge tree. And time to tear it down. And Stanley Chilson was there when they were tearing it down, and huge tree. And that's where it was. Yeah. Okay. This is the Davis Thayer homestead. Davis Thayer came to town with his brother in 1816, and then they built a straw factory behind it. And this will be Union Street and West Central Street. And behind it, between what was the Ray School and this building, was the straw factory. That was the Thayer straw factory. Benjamin Franklin actually started here in 1871, I think it was. You can actually see the sign for Benjamin Franklin Savings Bank right there.
Okay.
Then they turned this into the Franklin Hotel. And when that Dean Hall burnt down, apparently the students were staying in here. And then, in later years, the Davis Thayer School was built. Of course, we all remember the old fire station.
Right. Yeah.
There's actually a video on YouTube of them tearing it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And today, the new fire station. Well, although I will say this, they had two doors instead of one in the middle. I'm not sure what year. Does anybody know what year they did that? I'm not sure, but it is the museum. Originally the town hall. At one point, a senior center.
And the food pantry was in the
Food pantry was in the pace. Okay. Yeah. They just did a real nice job on the tower too, huh? Beautiful. This is probably the only church in Franklin that is still there from the day it was built, and still being used by the same denomination, the Methodist Church, right next door to the museum.
Okay.
And really nothing much has changed. Although I have to say, on the side, you see the door? They got it blocked off here. But other than that, pretty much the same building. I'm sorry, what? What?
The picture that you showed of the Methodist church.
Yeah.
Do you know what year that was?
Let's see. That one? Well, I'm going to guess maybe early 1900s. I'm guessing, yeah. That's typical of, yeah, I would say about early 1900s. Yeah. That house hasn't changed much, except the name of it. That's the Mitchell House on Dean property, right on West Central Street.
Okay.
It was owned by Walter Mitchell. Actually, first it was owned by William F. Ray, and then he died, and his widow sold it to somebody else, I think. And then that somebody else sold it to Walter Mitchell, and then Walter Mitchell either donated it to Dean or Dean bought it. Anyway, they call it the Mitchell House now. And there it is. Walter Mitchell actually ran the Morse Theater for a while. Now you can see the Franklin House here. There's a building next to it. That was Davis Thayer Jr.'s home. And then the next to it was the Whiting House, And you had Whiting and Davis over there in Plainville. Apparently he was connected to that. They tore the Whiting house down, and that's where the parking lot is today. And there's what it looks like today. Yeah, still good going, okay. Bright Farm.
Oh, that used to be Texas Chuck Wagon.
Texas Chuck Wagon. And then after that it was a Caravan, right. Yep. Yep. But the Bright Farm went up for auction in the late 30s, early 40s. Depression, I'm sure, it was related to that. But they were allowed to keep the dairy part. I mean the ice cream stand. Franklin Fence went in there. That's right. Yeah.
Across the street is there where the Knights of Columbus was.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And there it is. Oh, and that was the day of the auction. And then today, that's what it looks like today. Yeah, another fire victim. This is the Thayer House on the corner of West Street and yeah.
A lot of fires, getting to sound suspicious.
I know it, huh? Sheesh. That's what's there today. Oh, I love this picture. I got a hold of this. This is West Central Street looking, if you're standing on the bridge, looking this way. And Elkerton's Bakery was there. And that's where the bridge and the horse trough are just kind of like over in, behind the photographer. Yeah. And that's what it is today. Now this one, I got this picture and I really did the research on this one. This was down on Grove Street. And I actually went down and visited that area and where the pond was. It's kind of dried up, but you can still see the shape of it. This is where, if you go down Grove Street, you go over say you're on 140. You turn left on Grove Street, and you just go over the railroad tracks. Right. And now you're kind of going along. That's where this building was on that part. Because there's a road over on the right, that's where the road used to be. And that's when that was built, that was where that road was.
Okay.
So today, yeah, there, I went down and there it is. You can see what's left of that little pond. But that's what that right in there is where that building was.
I was heading back up towards the YMCA and so forth.
Exactly. Yep. Oh, and then there's an aerial view. There's Grove Street. There's that pond. And oh yeah, you can
The
see.
area where all the pollution is now.
Well, I don't know about that.
Brownstone, so.
I'm not really sure.
Brewery factory down there. That was
New
up-
Style.
Yeah.
That where New Style is.
Exactly. That's the building right there for New Style. Yeah. You can see that road up above. That's the original road. They call that Forge Hill Road, I think it is.
Right up
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
was the foundry?
The Foundry.
Foundry right behind that building.
Yeah, right,
Oh, was
right
it?
along Old Forge Road.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. All right. All right. Oh, I know what this is. We talked about the straw factory behind Davis Thayer.
Yeah.
That's what this is. That burnt down in late 1800s.
Right.
This, yeah. Yeah, and that's where it was, right.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes the only picture they have of something is the artist's drawing of it.
Right.
Better than nothing. Ah. Who owned this garage? Hmm?
Red Boy.
No,
That's on West Central Street?
no, this is on Union Street.
Union Street.
Joe Vendetti. Yeah, yeah. Right across the street from Jimmy D's today, Jimmy D's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right there. That's where the lighting, well,
Right.
that's where the lighting center is today.
That used to be the Mercury Garage before that.
That's right.
That was a Vendetti on that.
Yeah, because you go down, it used to be on the hill.
Yeah.
And when you're in the garage, you could go and there was a catwalk, and then you walk down this catwalk down to the garage, which was down low. Yeah. You know where that is. That was Franklin Yarn. It was right along the railroad tracks. The mill store is over there. That's the chimney for the mill store.
Right.
Today it's called Franklin Paint. Well, not anymore, Franklin Paint. I don't know what it is today. Although,
Still Franklin
still Franklin Paint? Just different owners.
New owners.
New owners, yeah. Good guys too.
No,
They were good. They were good guys.
Those owners.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know the new owners.
Gotta be careful, yeah. Oh, Union Street. This is if you were standing in front of the rectory, looking that way, and the Common is on this side, Beaver Street's on this side. Nothing much really changed. Nothing much really changed. Yeah.
You know, that's with the bell that we just have up on the museum now. That's the building that used to be the Franklin
Franklin
Academy.
Academy.
Oh,
The bell from here went to the church down on South Franklin or Washington Street. And some of the guys from the museum moved the bell.
really?
And they found it's back at the museum, we have it.
Huh.
And we're making a place where we can display it.
It's the perfect example of why I love to gather people to stories like this. This is great. Huh. Excellent.
Right on the left-hand side, isn't that St. Mary's Church right there?
Yep. The third St. Mary's Church. That building probably, well, other than the tower being lowered, hasn't changed much. Franklin Landing, right next to, well, that was the American Woolen Company.
Used to be a mill.
The American Woolen, yep.
And right to the left-hand side is the,
Yeah. On that side of the track was, this is when the Haywood Mill was there.
right.
This is when he bought it. He's since added on to there. And that's what it looks like today.
Yeah, it's the old mill store.
The mill, yep, it still is a mill store too, right? Yeah. Yeah. Under new, huh?
Front part.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry? Oh, okay, all right.
Were most of these mills textile?
Pretty much. A lot of straw factories, straw hats, satinet, whatever. I think satinet is what you put in a hat, I think. Yeah, yeah. So we had a piano factory, all kind. Well, one year we had a sugar beet factory where they're making sugar, but it didn't work out, so they moved it south.
Well, there is a street on Union.
Yeah,
It should have been.
because out the other end was the sugar beet factory for 1 year. That's a whole.
The reason why Franklin was so popular was because the railroad tracks ran into Boston.
Exactly.
Everybody came out this way.
That's right. Yeah. Ah, Landry Bicycle on Union Street.
Landry's still in business.
Yeah, it is. See the guy standing in the doorway with the little white hat? That's my great uncle, Leon Landry. He's the one that started that business, along with his son, Leon J. Landry. Then they moved to Framingham, and they moved the franchise over to Framingham, and now became a big Landry Bicycle, pretty big, yeah. And they recognize the history of the Landry name too, which is I think is nice, yeah. And then today's Jimmy D's. Now, right across the street was this building. For the longest time, I tried to figure out what the heck is this? Where is this? And then I finally figured it out. If you look, maybe not so much in this picture, but you can see a building off in the back, and the windows look familiar to me. The Franklin Mill Stores. Ah, and then this is Cottage Street.
Okay.
So this was that building, one of the two buildings that were right on Union Street, right at the intersection of Cottage and Union. And First National was there until they moved downtown.
So why are all the bikes there in this picture?
Well, because every year, Landry Bicycle used to sponsor a bicycle parade. They'd go through the center of town, they'd go off. I guarantee you that's what that was. Yeah. Yeah. And then today, that's that. And oh yeah, there's those two buildings. They were actually two separate buildings. And there was a small fire there at that point.
They're still there.
No, those buildings are gone. That's what's there today. Hmm?
I'm thinking of the ones on the bottom of Union Street, just before the stop sign.
No, this is right.
Zag Williams, over there with
I'm not sure what you mean.
That's on Union.
Really, this is Union Street, but like if you're standing where the fireman is and you look that way, you would see Liberty Grocery.
All right,
Yeah. Yeah.
not the first time.
Were all these fires caused
Liberty
by
Grocery.
heating systems and wood fires?
Yeah, coal. They burned a lot of coal back then. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, Liberty Grocery. Who remembers the little bar behind Liberty Grocery? A guy named Soxy DeCecco owned it. It was called the Red Onion.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but because I was too young to drink back then.
That's a good name.
Ah, Charles Zaccaro had this nice little fruit stand down there on Union Street. But then in the 50s, the Kalachi family took it over and it became the Union Cafe. And today it's Acapulco's. Ah. Anybody know where that is other than you? We spoke earlier. He says, "You're going to be showing a picture of garage."
Cottage Street.
Huh?
The bottom of Cottage Street.
Nope.
East Street.
Nope. Pleasant Street. You have Mucciaroni's garage on Pleasant Street. You're going down the hill.
All right.
Yeah, that's what that is. And then, that's what it is today. Well, that's what's there today, not that building, but yeah. Yeah. This one, I'll tell you what, if you look carefully on the right, building on the right, that'll tell you exactly where this building, where that is.
Cross.
Cross? No. Pleasant Street, yeah. See that building in the back? It's got a big round table in the front. Carriage house. This was when Harry Haywood owned the property. He had a nice greenhouse in the back there, but apparently something caught fire, and that's why they were there. But yeah, that's the carriage house. And there it is.
Is that where they grew the pot?
I don't know, but I can tell you one thing.
They're gonna take down.
Yeah, I hope they don't, but when are they
They
gonna?
are.
It's in good condition.
Yeah, I know it.
Except for the rusted turntable.
I know. I used to go to St. Mary's School, and sometimes during recess we'd go in there and we'd start going around the thing, and boy, did we catch heck. Woo. Oh yeah. And then
I'm gonna tear it down.
I hope not, but
We
that.
voted against it.
I know. But one thing about the Haywoods, that property was beautiful when they had it, and you know, if you look at that wall right there, and then that, you gotta say, boy, some of it looks familiar. We should. Look at that. Yep. And the tree's still there.
Yeah.
That's quite a tree.
You might not recognize it on this picture, but you're definitely gonna recognize it in that picture. The VFW. Yep. All right, we'll do one more, I think, huh? Yeah. Okay, this is the last one. Who can name that street? Oh, don't look at the top. Emmons Street. And there it is. Okay. Well, I think we've done that enough. So, okay.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.